Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria and today I will be doing the Throne of Glass book tag. This tag was invented by Natasha, I hope I'm saying your name right, over at Natasha's Books, and she tagged me probably like 6 months ago, and I said I would do this tag and I didn't, so it was a bit awkward, but hi, here we are doing this today. I will link her channel down below, so make sure you check it out. I have the tag questions here on my phone, so if I'm looking down, I will be reading them there. The purpose of this tag was to kind of set the mood for Kingdom of Ash, but it has been like 6 months since then, so mood killed, but you know, whatever. Here we are. The way that this tag is set up is there is a question for each book in the series, so starting with The Assassin's Blade, which is the prequel collection of short stories, all the way through to Kingdom of Ash, there's a question themed around each book, so let's get into it. Question 1. The Assassin's Blade. In The Assassin's Blade, Celaena travels across most of Erilea, and the world is expanded throughout her travels. This format of story is often called the hero's journey. The protagonist or hero faces trials and tribulations across their travels and returns to their home a changed person. Name a book wherein the main character takes a long journey throughout which they discover things about themselves along the way. So for this question, I have to choose Fire Arrow by Edith Piaf, I think is how you say your name. I actually have never heard it said out loud, but I was obsessed with her as a kid, so you'd think I'd know that. This book follows Brio's Sate on her quest to avenge her father's death. As she tracks her father's murderers across the realm, she discovers her birthright, a magical fire arrow which destroys its targets with flame. Yet each time she uses the arrow, the act twists her into something as cruel and deadly as the arrow itself. As she travels to a strange country dominated by a sinister sorcerer, Bri must decide whether the destruction of evil is worth the cost of her own soul. Yeah, you gotta read this, okay? It's magnificent. Question 2. Throne of Glass. Sarah J. Maas says that she was inspired to write Throne of Glass while listening to the Cinderella soundtrack. In particular, this song, YouTube link, check out the description. And that the series, while it's grown away from that, still retains elements of certain fairy tale retellings. What is your favorite fairy tale retelling? So for me, this has to be yet another Edith Piaf book, East. Can you sense a theme? Do I love this author? Yes, I do. This is a retelling of the Norwegian folktale East of the Sun, West of the Moon, which is a lot like Beauty and the Beast, if you've never heard of that one. Rose has always been a wayward child, longing to explore the world despite her mother's wishes that she stay safe at home and fulfill her womanly duties. So when a strange polar bear arrives and asks Rose to go away with it, in exchange for the health and prosperity of her impoverished family, she readily agrees. Yet the castle to which the bear takes her is full of mysterious secrets, and the more she uncovers them, the more Rose realizes that her adventure has only just begun. This book also features magical trolls which rule the North Pole, so what more do you want out of life? Yeah, it's also like sort of a low-key romance, but like less cringe than a lot, so I recommend. Question 3. Crown of Midnight. This book holds the most devastating death in the series and is the beginning of Celaena's descent into hell to be reborn. Her phoenix moment, if you will, stems from Nehemia's death. However, this death is extremely problematic, and many readers wish that Nehemia's sacrifice was left out and that Celaena grew some other way, not through the death of the only main character of color in the series at that point. If you could resurrect any fictional character from the dead, who would you resurrect and why?
This is a Harry Potter spoiler.
This has to be Fred from Harry Potter because that shit wrecked me. I know that the purpose of it was to show the stakes of war because that's so devastating, like a twin, like they were always together, Fred and George. But like it didn't actually affect the plot overall, so I feel like he didn't actually need to die and we could bring him back. And cure my broken heart. Question 4. Heir of Fire. As Celaena, now Aelin, rises from the ashes of her former self and travels to Wendlin and finds her best friend and Karanam Rowan Whitethorn, the two kick ass and take names while simultaneously growing and helping each other heal. What is a book with a kick-ass pair of best friends at the forefront? For this, I chose a book I have not actually read, Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. I really want to read this. It's been on my TBR forever, but like I haven't read it yet. I haven't read anything in ages. Shh. I have heard that this is a epic best friend story. If you haven't heard of it, it follows Sophia and Iseult, I think is how you say her name, in a continent ruled by 3 empires. Everyone is born with a witchery or a magical skill. Safi is hunted for her truth magic, or the ability to tell when people are lying, and Iseult's true powers are hidden even from herself. With a blood witch hot on their heels, the 2 best friends must seek their freedom amidst a world at war. If you've read this, let me know in the comments what you thought of it, but obviously no spoilers because I have not read it yet, but I'm stoked to. Question 5. Queen of Shadows. Aelin returns to Rifthold, which results in many old and new characters interacting in interesting directions. Many new ships are born from this book. Aelin and Rowan, Lysandra and Aedion, Nezrin and Kael, blah blah blah. What is your favorite ship in the series, your least favorite ship, and a ship you wish existed? My favorite ship in this whole series is Sartaq and Nezrin. I feel like they're the least problematic ship. They are cute and adorable, and there is limited abuse or betrayal, etc. My least favorite ship is Minorian. I have talked about this in previous videos, but I'm sorry, I'm not on board with this shit. I feel like Manon is clearly gay, and Dorian just is horrible when he's with Manon, so I'm not here for it, okay? Fight me. The ship that I wish existed follows from this. Elide and Manon will be for my forever Throne of Glass ship. I don't care what you say, it is clearly in there, and it should have been a thing. If you want me to make an entire video talking about my reasons why, I can do that, but I have mentioned it in my other Throne of Glass videos. Question 6. Empire of Storms. This is the book that left many of Sarah J Maas's readers sobbing into their pillows late at night. The book with the most intricate plot in the series, the book where we see characters from as far back as the Assassin's Blade. The book that ended with the protagonist in the most hopeless place possible. What is a book with a similarly shocking and devastating cliffhanger? For me, this has to be Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. Now, I have not actually finished this yet. I'm halfway through it, so please don't spoil it for me. But I have been hearing that the cliffhanger at the end of this is unreal. So I'm kind of freaking out. I'm not emotionally prepared to get to the end. But on the other hand, at least Queen of Air and Darkness is out now, so I can just jump right into the next book. Number 7. Tower of Dawn. As Kael travels to the southern continent, he moves to the forefront of the series, and while many were not a fan of moving the focus away from Aelin, Kael grew on most of us, as Tower of Dawn ran its course. What is a side character that slowly grew on you over time, or that you wish had more screen time? For me, this has to be definitely Evangeline from the Red Queen series. I remember in the first book, I was like, this girl is absolutely horrible and I kind of hate her. And then suddenly by King's Cage, I was like, how the fuck did this girl become my favorite character in the entire series? She really snuck up on me out of nowhere, but like her sass is just everything. I almost wish that Mare was just gone and it was just Evangeline the whole time. And finally, number 8, Kingdom of Ash. The book that I know nothing about because I want to go in blind. This is obviously written before the book came out. What is a book series with a satisfying ending, one that you would like Kingdom of Ash to have a similarly satisfactory ending to? For me, I'm going to say Mockingjay. You can fucking fight me. Everybody thinks that Mockingjay is the worst Hunger Games book, but it is the best one, in my humble and right opinion. Everything about it was so perfect and so deep, and the ending was just, it wrapped up everything, but it was like super emotional and like everything I needed it to be. And the last paragraph always gives me shivers and makes me cry, no matter how many times I read it. So y'all can fight me. And finally, we have 2 bonus questions. So question 9, what are your theories for Kingdom of Ash? Obviously, this book has come and gone. So if you want to know my thoughts, you can check out my reading blog for it. I will link that in the description below. And finally, what songs do you want to listen to while reading Kingdom of Ash? I actually can't read while... I can't read. I can't listen to music while reading. I find it really distracts me and I can't take in anything that I'm reading and I just become absorbed into the music. So I don't listen to music while I read, so this question don't apply to me. But also the book is out. So that is the end of this tag. Thank you so much, Natasha, for tagging me. I tag anybody else that has read this series and feels like doing this tag. Bless you to do it. Have a good time. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I did, but I am a narcissist, so here we are. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.